Hi everybody, happy Friday. It's Mrs. Oliver here, and I'm going to be reading you a story today called The Rainbow Fish, which I bet a lot of you have already read or have heard about before. It's a really great story. And when we're reading today, we're going to be talking about two things. We're going to be talking about the main idea, and we're going to practice retelling the story again after we read it. But when we talk about the main idea, what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be thinking about all the information in the book, all about what this book is about, and then being able to kind of tell what this story is mostly about in about a sentence or two. So, while I'm reading, I want you to be thinking about the main idea of this story. So, what is this story mostly about? And we'll talk about that at the end. All right, here we go. Let's read The Rainbow Fish. The Rainbow Fish. A long way out in the deep blue sea, there lived a fish. Not just an ordinary fish, but the most beautiful fish in the entire ocean. His scales were every shade of blue and green and purple, with sparkling silver scales among them. Look at how shiny. So remember, we're already learning a little bit of information here about our fish friend. The other fish were amazed at his beauty. They called him Rainbow Fish. "Come on, Rainbow Fish," they would call. "Come and play with us." But the Rainbow Fish would just glide past, proud and silent, letting his scales shimmer. So remember when we talked about characters the other day? We've already met a character here, the Rainbow Fish. One day, a little blue fish followed after him. "Rainbow Fish," he called, "wait for me. Please give me one of your shiny scales. They are so wonderful, and you have so many." "You want me to give you one of my special scales? Who do you think you are?" cried the Rainbow Fish. "Get away from me." Shocked, the little blue fish swam away. He was so upset, he told all his friends what had happened. From then on, no one would have anything to do with the Rainbow Fish. They turned away when he swam by. So I'm kind of sensing a little bit of a problem in the story right now. What's the problem that's happening? You remember? So Rainbow Fish, here he is. He's really pretty with these really shimmery, shiny scales, swimming in the ocean. And one of the other fish wanted one of his scales because of how pretty they were. But Rainbow Fish did not like the idea of that. He did not want to give him one of his scales. So now, how are all the other fish feeling about Rainbow Fish? Yeah, they don't like him right now. They don't think he's being very nice. So let's see what happens. What good were the dazzling, shimmering scales with no one to admire them? Now he was the loneliest fish in the entire ocean. One day, he poured out his troubles to the starfish. "I really am beautiful. Why doesn't anyone like me?" "I can't answer that for you," said the starfish. "But if you go beyond the coral reef to a deep cave, you will find the wise octopus. Maybe she can help you." So how is Rainbow Fish feeling? Yeah, he's feeling sad. He doesn't think that anyone likes him right now, and nobody wants to look at him in his pretty scales because some people aren't very happy with him right now, all the other fish. Nope. The Rainbow Fish found the cave. It was very dark inside, and he couldn't see anything. Then, suddenly, two eyes caught him in their glare, and the octopus emerged from the darkness. There's the octopus, another character. You see him? So the octopus is supposed to be able to help Rainbow Fish. Let's see. "I have been waiting for you," said the octopus with a deep voice. "The waves have told me your story. This is my advice. Give a glittering scale to each of the other fish. You will no longer be the most beautiful fish in the sea, but you will discover how to be happy. So, what is the octopus telling Rainbow Fish to go and do? Yeah, he's telling Rainbow Fish to go back to find all those fish in the sea and to give them all one of his pretty scales. And then Rainbow Fish will discover how to be happy, because right now he's not happy, right? Right now he's still feeling sad. I can't, the Rainbow Fish started to say, but the octopus had already disappeared into a cloud of dark ink. Give away my scales? My beautiful shining scales? Never. How could I ever be happy without them? Do you think he's going to give them away? Do you think he's going to keep them? Let's find out. Suddenly he felt the light touch of a fin. The light blue fin was back. Rainbow Fish, please don't be angry. I just want one little scale. The Rainbow Fish wavered. Only one very, very small shimmering scale, he thought. Well, maybe I wouldn't miss just one. Carefully, the Rainbow Fish pulled out the smallest scale and gave it to the little fish. Thank you very much, the little blue fish bubbled playfully as he tucked the shiny scale in among his blue ones. A rather peculiar feeling came over the Rainbow Fish. For a long time he watched his little blue fish swim back and forth with his new scale glittering in the water. I wonder how Rainbow Fish is feeling now that he gave away one of his scales. The little blue fish whizzed through the ocean with his scale flashing, so it didn't take long before Rainbow Fish was surrounded by the other fish. Everyone wanted a glittering scale. The Rainbow Fish shared his scales left and right, and the more he gave away, the more delighted he became. When the water around him filled with glimmering scales, he at last felt at home among the other fish. So he decided to share his scales with all of the other fish, and now how is Rainbow Fish feeling? It said he was feeling delighted, he was feeling happy, because he's sharing with all of his friends and getting to see them be happy too. Finally, the Rainbow Fish had only one shining scale left. His most prized possessions had been given away, yet he was very happy. Come on, Rainbow Fish, they called. Come play with us. Here I come, said Rainbow Fish, and happy as a splash, he swam off to join his friends. If you remember at the beginning of the story, was Rainbow Fish playing with his friends, and was he this happy to go and play? No, but now that he's given away his scales, he's much happier. So, let's talk about the main idea of this story. What do you think this story is mostly about? What do you think was something that was really important in this story? So if you were thinking about the part where at the beginning, nobody really wanted to be his friend because he wanted to keep all of his scales, his prized possessions, he called it, to himself. And at the end of the story, he learned that sharing is really important and how sharing made him feel really happy. So that's the main idea of this story. The most important thing that this story is teaching us is that how important it is to share, and how the little fish, the Rainbow Fish, was feeling at the beginning and how his feelings changed at the end because he decided that he was going to share with all his friends. And he became a much happier fish, and so were all the other fish around him. So that is really important. That's a main idea. And now you can go and you can practice retelling this story at home yourself if you want. And you can kind of talk about the things we talked about at the beginning. We can do it together here at the beginning of the story. There was Rainbow Fish talking about how pretty he was and how he loved all of his scales, but nobody really wanted to play with him. And then you remember someone came along and asked him if he could have a scale, And the rainbow fish said no, he didn't want to share his scales. And the rainbow fish was feeling sad, and all of his friends didn't like him at that time because he wasn't sharing. So then the rainbow fish was looking for some help, and he went to the octopus to get some answers about what he should do. And the octopus told him, in order for him to be happy, he should start to give his scales away to all the other fish. Rainbow fish wasn't a big fan of that idea at first, but then he decided he was going to give it a try. And he gave it to one of his friends, the first fish that came back, that little blue fish. He gave him a scale, and that fish was thrilled and happy, and so was rainbow fish. And then he started giving his scales away to all the other fish, and he realized how it made him feel. And he loved that feeling, and he loved having friends and being happy. So he gave away all his scales until he had just one scale left for himself. And that is what the rainbow fish was all about. So I hope you enjoyed my story today. I'll be reading you another one next week. I miss you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.